Hi guys, welcome back to Jivshastra Abhyasa. I am your educator, Ranjan MD. So today we are going to complete the chapter what we have started, that is reproduction in organisms. Okay, so we have learned this particular chapter in 7 parts. This is the last part which is coming off. So this part contains the last event of sexual reproduction. Okay, so students, so the last part of the sexual events of sexual reproduction is the third part of events in sexual reproduction, that is the last event, that is post fertilization event. Okay, post fertilization event. So what is post fertilization event? So the name itself suggests after the fertilization, whatever happens after the fertilization is known as post fertilization event. So then what are those things which are going to happen after the post fertilization events? So let's see that. Okay, the main thing which happens after the post fertilization event, that is first one, after the fusion of male and female gametes, there is a formation of zygote is going to takes place. Okay, the zygote is going to be formed with the help of male and female fusion of male and female gamete. So this zygote is diploid in nature. Because this zygote is made or fused by two haploid male gamete, one haploid male gamete and another haploid female gamete, that is egg, right? So 2n plus n, that is haploid sperm plus haploid egg, has given rise to the diploid zygote. Okay, the diploid zygote. Okay, so what do you mean by what happens, or what do you mean by this diploid zygote? This diploid zygote has the ability to grow into the new young individual. What happens? The diploid zygote is going to grow into the new young individual, going through the different kinds of processes. Actually, the development of the zygote depends on the organism. It mainly depends on the organism where it is living. That means the environment of the organism where it is living. Okay, so then let's see what are the different. For example, we will take some examples and we will conclude this. Okay, how the differentiation takes place. So in the first year we have learned the life cycles of an organism. We have learned the 3 life cycles of an organism. That is, first one we will consider like this. First one is a haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle. What happens? The organisms which possesses the haplontic life cycle. Here the zygote is going to be undergoes the process of meiosis, and it produces haploid spores. Okay, it produces what? Haploid spores. Then what happens? This haploid spores are going to be developed into a haploid individual. What is going to happen? First, the haploid, the organisms like algae. Let's consider algae. So the algae possesses haplontic life cycle. Okay, this particular haplontic life cycle possessing organism, when the zygote is formed, the zygote undergoes the process of meiosis, and this meiosis will produce haploid spores, and that haploid spores will be developed into what? The haploid individuals. So this is what happens whenever the zygote undergoes the development in the haplontic life cycle possessing organisms. So next one will be the diplontic life cycle of it. The second one will be the diplontic life cycle. Diplontic life cycle. So the organism which possesses the diplontic life cycle, like angiosperm. So here what happens? The zygote which is formed in the angiosperm is going to undergo the process of mitosis here. There will be no meiosis going to take place. Mitosis is going to take place, and this particular mitosis will give rise to the embryo, and that embryo is going to be developed into the which one? The individual, the young individual. So what happens here? The diplontic life cycle possessing organisms like angiosperms, okay, when they possess the zygote, that undergoes the process of mitosis to produce embryo, and that embryo will be developed into young individual. The same thing also happens in pteridophytes. So which possesses this pteridophytic organism is going to possess what type of life cycle? That is haplodiplontic life cycle. So this pteridophytes, when they possess zygote, they also undergo the same process as the angiosperms which possess the diplontic life cycle. Same mitosis is going to happen, and there will be formation of embryo, and directly here one thing, there will be young one will be generated which doesn't have complete maturity, but here the adult is going to be directly born. That is young. It is not young. It is completely matured individual. So directly they will be matured. Okay, that type of individuals is going to be developed. That is the third one, which possesses haplodiplontic life cycle. So this is about the zygote. Okay. So next is especially what happens with the zygote. So the next post fertilization event, that is the second one, that is embryogenesis. What is embryogenesis? The development of zygote into the embryo is known as the process of embryogenesis. This is also termed as, this embryogenesis is also termed as organogenesis. Why it is termed as organogenesis? Because during the formation of embryo, this embryo will have certain organs. They will have some certain organs. In plants, if we consider plants, so there will be plumule will be there, which is shoot, and there will be radicle, which is root, initiators. There will be initiators of shoot and root will be there in the embryo. So that's why they are also known as organogenesis. The definition of organogenesis is here, exact definition: formation of organs, okay, through the mitosis. That is, through the mitosis there will be development of different kinds of organs will be there. That is known as organogenesis. So this is about the embryogenesis and of the zygote. So here I am going to add something extra for you people. So I am going to add extra for you people. That is, the extra for you people is, So in I told you that different kinds of development of zygote takes place, right? Different kinds of zygote is going to takes place. In for example, in plants, what happens? The plants, the embryo, the zygote develops into embryo. That embryo will bear plumule, that is shoot initiator, and it also will bear the radicle which is called as root initiator. So these will be you can see in the plants. As that of in animals, something different kind of thing is going to happen. Something different happens in the animals. So let's see what are those different in animals. So in higher individuals, that is also, this zygote will develop into different types of embryos. Different kinds of embryos will be generated in higher animals. So how they will be? Let's see. The individuals, so here are some embryos are developed. The three types of embryos we can see, or we can say three types of individuals we can see which possesses different kinds of development of zygote. Okay, so that is, first one is oviparous animals. Okay, that is oviparous animals. So this which lays the egg, right? You know that, which lays the egg, like birds, ewes, for example. We can consider ewes, reptiles, right? A lot of reptiles, lizards, all you can consider in the oviparous type of. This zygote will be developed into an egg, okay, with a calcareous shell or mucilaginous shell sheath. Okay, that is oviparous type of animals. So then the second type of animals are viviparous. So you all know that viviparous is viviparity is a type of individuals. These are the type of organisms which will give birth to directly to the young one. So here young one will be directly given birth, right? The young one is given directly birth into the world. So for example, mammals, isn't it? Example will be the mammals. So then the last type of individuals, so where these kinds of zygote will be developed, zygote is going to be developed like this, that is ovoviviparous. So this is a kind of animal, where the young ones will be given birth before the maturity. Before maturity, the young ones will be given birth, and the nourishment will be by it will not be taken by the mother. So the nourishment will be done by the remaining yolk. So the remaining yolk which is present, that will nourish the young one. Okay, nourish the young one. So this can be taken in, for example, this good example is mud boa or sand boa. So we can consider there are little bit of examples for this. So this is about this sexually reproduction in organism. So this chapter completes with this particular thing, and also all the three events are, one is pre-fertilization event, fertilization, and post-fertilization. So in some of the paper it has been asked for 5 marks. It can be asked for 5 marks in your midterm exams also. Okay, it can be asked. Okay, so for 3 marks it has been asked the 3 following steps in the annual exam also. So once or twice it has been asked. So in annual exams, for 3 marks it has been asked. So once, I think 5 marks it has been also asked for 5 marks. Okay, so by this we will complete this first chapter, and in the next video we are going to come up with a new chapter, whatever it may be. So so I think this chapter, I think it was good for you, all of you people. And so last line I am going to say, that is, if you are looking at this video and you are liking my teaching in this video sessions, so please hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button also. And if you want to get notifications, please press the bell icon, which is by the side of your subscribe button itself. So stay safe, and smart. Let's learn smart. Bye.